Good afternoon, all.
Good afternoon.
So I see a very laid back, aram, relaxed good afternoon. So I know it's going to be tough for both of us. So I always have complained on all the branches serving very good food. So participants, if not good food is given, participant will complain. If you give good food, faculties will complain, right? So there was somewhere in Pune or something, I remember I had gone, not Pune, somewhere in Maharashtra. So they had given that executive meal. Limited will be there, no? That packed one. So that was what was given. So there was criticism on that. Then I told this is the best thing I did. You give a buffet, then after that there is nothing for you to absorb from the speaker. So anyway, we also have to kill our appetite for the hunger. So we have done good job in filling our tummies. So if anybody is getting sleep, the only request is don't disturb the next person next to you. Yeah, don't snore and disturb the person next to you. So you can aram say rest without disturbing. Okay. So with this, I'll like to start off with my session. So what I'm going to be speaking is something about the future. So sir was asking, ఏంటి sir tribunal ఇంకా ఫామే కాలేదు కదా. So his question indirectly for me is what is that you are going to tell which is not formed? ఎందుకు మా బ్రాంచ్ వాళ్ళకు తెలియలేదు మీకు లేదు అక్కడి ఇంకా వచ్చారు. So but yeah, sometimes we have to look at being prepared for what is going to be 100% certain. It is not something which is there in the air, but it is something is going to happen the certain. So we need to look at the practice lifestyle in GST. So it's very important for all of us to understand is because I see a lot of people don't come into this last leg of the practice which is going to be there. We don't do that. But I think the idea is that you should be doing that and take the benefit of having it. So the GST practice started with advisory pre-GST, where people had a lot of queries saying that whether this will be taxable, what would be the rate, what is ITC eligible, what records to maintain, what returns to file, blah 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 blah. All questions were there. So that easily took us about nearly about an year, 6 months pre-GST and post 6 months. The professional we all were occupied in that. So the government also took a lot of time for stabilizing their returns and things like that, and then the compliance started.
Ultimately forced.
Ultimately forced with they being off prepared. Then afterwards, we are getting 74 notices because they were off prepared. So anyway, that is what it is. So then we started doing a lot of the compliance in terms of filing the returns for the clients and things like that. So that is where we were busy, and then started the thanks to the technology and the automation, which we are not rapidly catching up. We as a professional, I still see that there is a lot of scope for each one of us as a professional to catch up with the technology which is coming up. We may be having our own constraint in terms of that being a big ticket size, we will not be able to invest things like that. But somehow we have to overcome about it. But department has catch up with the technology soon, and they have gone with the automated notice being generated. So then there was loads of notices, and we went into those sort of a litigation where we all got busy in doing that assessment, ASMTs, ADTs, and all those things was being done. So now future of practice in tribunal, what has been left? Advisory more or less gone. Except for a starter. Existing business, hardly I can recall person coming back and asking on any advice, which is on a serious level. Small things are okay, but any serious level in terms of the conceptual implementation, I think most of you would also be sharing things. So there is no more practice left as far as the advisory is concerned. Now compliance is becoming automated. If you actually look at in within no time, they are going to make all 100% e-invoicing for all B2B transactions, irrespective of your turnover. You may be having just 10 lakhs or 12 lakhs. or you may be having 1 crore or 5 crore. Any B2B transaction should be a e-invoice. So this is the game plan which is going to happen maybe 6 months, 1 year, whatever it is. So what happens because of this? Then there is nothing for you to do in GSTR1. Everything gets auto-populated, right? So even your credit notes have to be invoiced, debit notes has to be invoiced. Everything comes and sits there. What is that you are having? Nothing. All that you need to ensure that you need to do timely doing the invoicing, generating the hash code. Then come to GSTR 3B. Now, what is GSTR 3B? What they are saying that you will not be able to make any amendment from the amount which is auto-populated from your GSTR 2B, right? One will go into 2B, 2B will come and sit in my GSTR 3B.
3B.
So no change. What I can do, only thing is I can defer the credit, saying that no, this goods is not received, but invoice already generated. So I have not fulfilled the condition of 16.2. I'll do a temporary reversal, retake it in the next month. Or there are certain 17.5 item I am reversing, or there is rule 42, 43 compliance I am doing. Some 3, 4, 5 points which you have to do, and next month you have to monitor it. Rest everything is automated. So if you look at people looking at outsourcing the returns may gradually come down, right? People are looking at developing the in-house capabilities of their own accountants doing it instead of giving it to the auditor or whatever it is. So this is what something which has been looking at catching up because things are becoming easy. So the other day, my one of my article, came up with a document where she told that if you follow these steps in Tally, sir, the returns can be uploaded from Tally only. Everything is there, even reconciliation, adjustment, everything is there. I can upload in the Tally itself. So a proper accounting, the original accounting thing, what has been done, it has been done properly. The returns filing compliance may not be required. So now comes is all auto-generated notices. If you look at 10 tons of those notices came because of your disclosure error, right? And the reconciliation, which we took a lot of time to learn. Now we know what is the reconciliation, what has to match with what. Even before department is asking, when we are finalizing our income tax audit or statutory audit, we are anyway preparing the reconciliation. Those are all things are ready with us. So I don't see any big, great notices which has been coming because lot of disclosure errors have been rectified. There will be certain things which is coming which we are already having a learning curve and it can be easily managed. So now comes is the future. What next? The what next is the tribunal practice which is going to come. So like I told, they gave time for us to settle and bring the returns, and they took time for us to settle with the returns and later started doing the scrutiny and audits after 4 5 years. So here also they have given us time to settle, and now they are making that you are ready for tribunal practice. So various tons of the notices which has been issued, which has been what you call the uh, orders which has been passed by the Joint Commissioner Appeals will be appealable before the tribunal. So, and in Vijayawada, we are going to get a GST tribunal bench. So, this is something which is going to be the future things which is there, which has got accumulated. So, I am expecting maybe Vijayawada could start with somewhere about 2 or 3 thousand notices to start with. Appeals, I am talking about 2 or 3 thousand of appeals to start with. That could be the broad number if you look at from a territory, or maybe lesser than that, 1500 or something. So that is where requires a lot of professional to do a proper representation before the tribunal. So in that context, this tribunal training is something which we need to be aware. And let me give a disclosure. You listening to me for next 1 hour, you will not become an expert and you cannot go and argue in the tribunal. That's not what is possible. But only thing is that it will give you a small insights as to what is your preparedness should be there and what needs to be done. I was also told the CMP committee and the indirect tax committee of ICAI are working towards a 6 days module, sort of a certification course on this tribunal representation. So they are working on the background material. It should be out soon, and they will be able to start those courses. So that will help you to navigate further. So with this, let me start. My PPT is very detailed. So the copy is available in the branch laptop. So I don't know if it will be uploaded, made available to you. Whatever is that, the secretary is gonna, vice chairman is here. He's going to take care of it. So that you can do it. I have made elaborated PPT because these are all the pointers which will be useful for you. But given the time of about an hour from now, I think I should be closing by around 3 o'clock. So I was also asking him if this same video is available to you in the evening today in YouTube. Why should you invest your time and come and sit here? So he was telling me, sir, they have to come and sit here because it is going to be an interactive session. In YouTube, you cannot do interaction, right? So take the best advantage, ask as much as question as possible to me, but I am not assuring you I'll answer everything, but I am only encouraging you to ask as much as possible. To the best of my knowledge, I am going to answer the questions, right? So ask these questions. Let's make it interactive. I'll broadly take you through. I don't want to bore you with going in depth into the provisions, the things like that. It's more of an highlight or a trailer is what I am going to do. If you make a group of maybe 15, 20 people who are very serious in looking at a GST tribunal training, either the 6 day course or we can customize one thing for the Vijayawada branch and we can get the speakers from across various places and we can do a very sort of a workshop sort of a thing for the people who are actually want to make this into reality. So looking at the origin of tribunal, where did all these things started? It was in the Rome where there were differences between the rich people and the common people. So the rich were dominating the common people, and they wanted a particular forum where the common people can represent their grievance against the rich people. So that is where this tribunus pellibus was being formed and that was finally developed into something called as a tribunal. So then if you look at tribunal in India, so the oldest tribunal is IT80. How many of you are appearing before IT80? Yeah? Okay, one, two. So this is the oldest tribunal. If you have already been doing, then you have been like seasoned. This is what is going to be the replica of it. So in fact, that IT80 tribunal was there prior to our independence and prior to our constitution also. Then later the constitution came in 1950, but in 1950 the original text of the constitution did not have any place for the tribunal. It was not been recognized. Later it was been amended and Article 323A and 323B was brought in, where there was one article taking care of the administrative tribunal. That is all your service case and all the CAT and all those things is there. So this is something which has been there, and another is 323B for all other issues. So it is not only restricted to tax; it could be like a water sharing tribunal, it could be the electricity, so various other things. So these are all the forums which is done with a specific purpose of reducing the load of the judiciary. So this is sort of it is a judiciary itself, but like sort of a quasi judiciary which has been there and not a proper judiciary, but tribunals get the powers of the courts also in terms of the procedure, the summoning and things like that. So this is something which has been formed for a specific purpose where people will be able to get the right recruitment of the judges, that is a member who is having the subject specific knowledge. What happens in court is that court it is very varied. The court is expected to listen about marital cases, he is expected to listen to civil cases, he is expected to listen to tax matters. It's varied. There is no restricted subject per se. So what happens is somewhere the depth of the member may not be there in terms of the knowledge which is required for doing the justice. So that is where this tribunal is going to help in looking at giving a proper justice or a judgment, because the subject matter expert is either available to the member or he gets developed because day in day out he is hearing this particular matters. So that is what has been there. Then there's also a question which came up whether in L. Chandrakumar it was settled, whether the tribunal is final or it can be subjected to review by the High Court and the Supreme Court. They told it cannot be final. It's on they're not a replacement for us. They're only an supplement or assistance to the courts. So thereby it can be reviewed by High Court and Supreme Court is what this judgment talks about. So this is the CESTA tribunal where the bench structures have been there. And as far as the GST Appellate Tribunal, they have been looking at two benches. One is the principal bench and the state benches. So the principal bench has been, it would be set up in New Delhi. They are going to hear the matters which is relating to place of supply. And all other matters other than place of supply is going to be heard by the respective state benches. So why is this? What is this place of supply? Place of supply is a deemed place where it is a place where it is deemed to be the supply of goods or services has happened. So there is a set of section for goods services the IGST Act provides. You need to apply that particular scenario, and whatever the place of supply, that location is going to get the tax, right? Destination based tax. So I have come from Hyderabad, delivering a lecture here in Vijayawada, and maybe somebody has come from Chennai and sitting and listening to me. So where is the destination? Where is the consumption? All right. So why it is important? Because that state is going to get the revenue. That is a fundamental shift from the CST, the Sales Tax, Central Sales Tax Act, and the GST is there, where the consumption state is going to get the revenue. So now what they have done is, Sudhir, this is very good example. You are asking whether it should be Telangana, Vijayawada, Chennai, Tamil Nadu. Each person will come and argue this is what the consumption should be there. So what they did, they have formulated IGST Act, where they have clearly told, please don't apply your common sense. Okay, please don't apply any logic. You just follow the scenario. Which scenario you keep? No, sir, I am not falling under any scenario. Don't worry, there is residuary. Go to the residuary. It is recipient based. Right? If you are falling under a particular scenario, you don't have an option but to apply that as a place of supply. So that is what they have told. Now, what if there is a dispute in this and the state bench is hearing the matter? So what they are looking at, there could be a biasness of the state bench in terms of deciding this matter because the revenue may go out of the state. If Vijayawada bench is hearing the matter which I am talking about, if they give a verdict that it is going to go to Tamil Nadu, then Andhra government is not going to get any money. So they want to remove the bias. Although the judges should not be biased, they should not be caring where the revenue is going. They only have to look at, make a opinion on the law of point. But still, as a human tendency, there could be a possible bias. To remove this bias, what they told is let the center, which has been the what you call the principal bench in Delhi, let that decide which the place of supply. For them, it is neutral, whichever government is getting. So it should be there unless until politically people are looking at a political point of view that okay, BJP ruled, non-BJP ruled, and things like that. I'm hoping that is what not the member would get influenced. It is only with the politicians and the yes. So this is what something which is been there. So to remove that bias, all the place of supply is going to be there. So there has been a discussion which has been happening whether the place of supply, all place of supply, that Delhi is going to be the only place where we have to go and represent, or the principal bench can also have its divisional bench, the additional benches across the country is something which is there. As far as the structure is concerned, it can have a multiple benches. Whether they are going to plan for it, one for south, north, east, west, something like that, is something which we need to wait and watch. But to start with, it is only at the Delhi. Next, you have the state benches. Each state they have nominated a bench. There are few states which is having multiple benches. I think in AP we have one in Vizag and another in AP. So similar to that, I think Maharashtra is also having multiple benches. Otherwise, most of the states is having only one single bench where all the matters which has been passed with the joint commissioner working in this particular geographical jurisdiction comes to this bench for the appeals. From there, If you have not, if you have been aggrieved by the order, then it goes to the High Court. If it is a matter of fact, if it's a matter of law, it can directly go to the Supreme Court, or from High Court, it can go to the Supreme Court if you are not satisfied with the decision of the High Court. So this is typical hierarchy which most of you are aware. These are the provisions 174, 164 and 160 plus. So these are all the total rules. Out of this total provisions, section 5 and section 109 to 114 deals with this tribunal. 110 to 138 rule deals with the tribunal provision and all the various forms which has been there, which you need to go through. I'm not taking you through that. Coming to the space, I'll spend few minutes here, which could be relevant for lot of people here. This is where we professional also get confused and also the client will get confused. How many times department can come and give notice? Who all can come and give notice? So this is a frustrated question the client is going to ask. What is this, sir? Last month only you told some ASMT scrutiny and all. 18-19 financial year, 19-20 financial year we did. Now what is this ADT? Again they are coming and doing it. So there is multiple intervention which has been planned. How the law has been designed is that there are three interventions they are looking at. Intervention number one is your scrutiny of returns, where they say that on the face of the returns, if I am finding that there could be a there could be a challenge, I am going to give you an ASMT 10. And if I am satisfied, I am going to drop it. If it is not satisfied, then I am going to give DRC 01, which is a show cause notice proposing the demand or the short payment or excess refund which has been there. 73, 74. Of course, now it is 74A. Second intervention is that, okay, you are on the face of it. The first one is what the face of it. What could be there? So on the face of it, you have declared that there is a taxable supply and there is also an exempted supply. But you are not doing any reversal of credit under Rule 42 itself. So then it is on the face of it, they are able to identify that you have done something wrong. So that is the scrutiny of the returns. Second one will be is that, okay, on the face of it, you have not done wrong, but what is that, whether everything from the books has come into the returns or not, how will I get to know? So that is where your audit procedures is there. The audit is ADT 02 or something is there, where they look at the accuracy of your assessments and also the accuracy of the data which is been recorded in the books of accounts. So this is what the audit is going to be there. This is the second intervention. The third intervention is what Sudhir is not at all accounted in the books of accounts. Once if he is accounted in the books of accounts, whether he has put it properly in the returns or not is checked in the audit. What is this fellow is doing an unaccounted sales itself? That is where the investigation people are going to come. INS is going to come. So where they are looking at something beyond the books, beyond your returns. So this is how the law has been demanded. But if you practically look at, you are getting inspection notices for some error which has happened in the returns. One of the case I had gone to Guwahati recently. So there was a case where while taking input tax credit, that accountant missed one decimal. 0.27 was there. Point was missed. First of all, I don't know why they are working on decimal. 0.27 doesn't make any difference. 27 paisa, they would have ignored taking the credit. Instead of that, he took it while doing it 0.27. He says, no, sir, I put point, system did not take. No, we don't know what has happened. Now, because of this resulting, what has happened, there is an 100 crores of credit taken excess. So now this becomes something which is there in the returns and not there in 2B. So of course, the things become what you call eyebrow raising, because 100 crores sort of a dummy credit, right? It became a dummy credit which has been taken. So then it went into an investigation. So my question was is whether the investigation was required in this. What is the fraud here? Here there is a, on the face of it, somebody is able to identify seeing the returns. Then the ASMT should have been issued and not an investigation. In the ASMT, it could have been done. Now, problem what is happening is because it went into investigation, now the investigation people came. He says, we thought 100 crores fraud and we 20 people we came. So how can we go empty handed? I said, that is your problem. Why you came 20 people first of all? You should have called me, I would have rectified it. No, no, no. It was, you did this thing in the month of October. We came in the month of February. You had so much of time. Hey, I have not identified here. Why will I go and identify what wrong has happened? Why will I go back and see? You did not give me an opportunity to file my annual returns also, GSTR 9. So why did you hire Innova and why did you come? So now it will not happen practically what I am saying. So they will dig something else, this, that, and all. But these are the things can be challenged also. There should be a reason to believe and there should be a jurisdiction also for them to exercise. So something can be done in ASMT has been done by investigation. Something should have been done by investigation is been done by audit officer. The audit officer is coming and saying that no, I am going to count cash and I am going to count stock. Hey, what is your jurisdiction? Look at the definition of audit. It says the accuracy of the data and documents which has been maintained. They don't have an authority to count the stock or the cash which has been there. If it is an inspection notice, yes, they can do that. They have the power. So there has been a cross of various powers which has been there, and unfortunately, each are independent of other. Even if it has been subjected to scrutiny, you can be audited. Even if you have been audited, you can be investigation. Even if you are investigated, you can be audited. Now the client is thinking that once a person has come, once department has come for 17-18 or 18-19, he feels that this year is a cleared year. All my sins have been washed off. Okay, so I went to that Kumbh Mela and washed off everything. So unfortunately, that is not the right thing. And we also know some practices which is prevailing where some clients want to opt taking the personal benefit of the officer and close it. They say that okay, this is the end of the world. Again, somebody is going to come and they get frustrated on us. And what is this? Why these people are sending lot of notices as good as we are manufacturing and sending? We don't have any control over it. But this is what practically which has been happening. So there's an educating of client that a lot of people can come. And these are all independent intervention with various things is equally we need to educate the client while we get educated ourselves. So that is the reason I spent some time on making this. But what is the common thing is all this ADT, ASMT or your INS will come into your DRC 01. That is your show cause notice. From show cause notice, it will get into the first adjudication, which is an order, which is also supposed to be a quasi judicial order. So the officer is not supposed to look at biased with the department view only. He should be unbiased while taking this. He should become a judge. But I have hardly seen anybody doing this. I'll not say nobody. There are few people who have done one or two out of 100 maybe or maybe 1000 who do it judiciously. Otherwise, everybody want to be loyal for their paycheck. They think that I am getting the pay from the department, so I have to do justice by getting the revenue to the department. Then the next stage is your appeal stage, which is the joint commissioner appeal. If joint commissioner itself has been passed, there is a special commissioner who passes the order. So this is the two things which is been there. This is also a much more quasi-judicial thing which is going to be there. But again, their pay is also there. But at least few appeals I have seen that they're a bit more judicial, unbiased, not judicial, unbiased in taking the order is what I look at. So mostly the case will not get settled here. So that is where I am talking about 2000.
Judicial.
Yeah. Yes. So here they are looking from there the things goes to the tribunal. These orders of the appeal will go to the tribunal, High Court and Supreme Court as I have explained. Now, one of the cause of delay of the tribunal was they initially had proposed for a three-member bench. So what is this three-member? One representing the state government, state tax, another representing the central taxes, and third one is a judicial member. So in this composition, there is a flaw. There are two people who are coming from the department. Their entire service of 30 years, 35 years in the department, they have read the law to favor the department from a revenue. They can't even read the law on a independent, forget about reading for the assessee. They cannot even read unbiased. They have read the law, they have understood the law in that particular way. and they also come with lot of baggages. Okay, are you don't know steel industry? I did raid of steel industry. They were doing this. Yes, sir, that was that assessee, not the industry whole. Okay, so are you saying that this has been done by RANL? RANL also is in steel industry. Vizag steel plant is also in steel industry. Can you say this has been done by them? When you're no, why they will do? Then why are you not giving me the benefit? So this is the problem of technical officer who are going to come. Now, if three people are there, decision will happen in a ratio of 2:1. So there is a high chance that everything goes to the favor of the department and not to the assessee. So this was been challenged in the Chennai High Court, Madras High Court, and they won the case, and the law had to get amended. Then they made 2+2. They said two from judicial, one state, one from center. So there will be a four-member bench which is going to be sitting. This entire journey took so much time for making that small amendment. Otherwise, tribunal could have been coming to light much more ahead of time. Now, question is that Sudhir, when you are saying that there are going to be 2+2, whether all the four people will be sitting on the bench and I need to explain my case to four people? So sometimes discussing with two people itself is difficult. One person will ask facts, another person will ask law. And to our what you call misfortune, both will ask at the same time. So you don't know now what to answer first. So this is how it is happening with two members only. Now four people are there, then who is attentive, who is not attending. If I want to read a particular page on my appeal paper book, I have to get all four on the same page, then start doing it. So it may not working and justice may not be proper. So what they are proposing is that although to formulate a bench, that is an operational bench in Vijayawada, these are the four vacancies they should fill. Then the bench will be formulated. But the sitting will be two people. Sitting will not be four. Sitting will be only two. So there is going to be a quotal number one. There is going to be a quotal number two. So quotal number one or whatever, one of the quotal will be having state technical, judicial. Another quotal will be having central technical, judicial. Okay. So this is how the two benches would be formed. And how the matters will be listed still not been discussed. But one of the news which I have heard,
Two halves in one console.
yes,
Two different benches will do the play.
two different. So now that is also looking at your matter is serial number one in both the cause list. So that is again a challenge. So if you want to ask Passover in quotal number one, he says, why always you will ask Passover with me? You can ask there, na? Why are you asking with me? No, I will not give. Go. You go there and ask Passover and come here. So that sort of a challenges will be there. So again, we have to look at a collaborative working. So we cannot work in isolation. Our profession we need to improve from here is that it is the only way is aggregating and collaborating. So it is not possible for a standalone person to survive anymore the way the practice is becoming complex and the way it is going. So you should have a friend who can argue for you, who can take time for you, or take an adjournment for you, and you should be able to do that. So this sort of an association is something which you need to be looking at. So they are also looking at an order of listing. The thing which they are saying is that there is all the orders which has been passed with the state joint commissioner appeals will be listed before the central tax technical and judicial member and vice versa. So that this is what is going to happen. So I am not very sure how this is going to be there, because as far as the center is concerned, the order is much more detailed, reasoning, and a lot of arguments are there. Whether that is a right or wrong, there is one set of quality deliberations is happening in the order. Whereas the state, there is nothing. There is only two or three standard lines they write. All the submissions made by the taxpayer is not tenable, right? And thereby the demand is confirmed. Finish. Why not tenable? I will not tell you, sir. Why should I tell you? I will not tell you. So now what is that I am going to go and argue before the tribunal? So that is what is going to happen. But whereas the center, they give you a reasoning. Maybe a reasoning is wrong, but they'll give you a reasoning. Right? Had I not come to you for doing the audit, you would have never paid the tax. Who told you that? That is my assumption. Thereby 74 is invocable. Like that, they'll give you something which you can argue and tell that this is how it can be looked at. So now what is happening? The well done order is going again to a state officer who was in a habit of not writing anything. Where nothing is written is going to a person to write. He don't know what to write. There is nothing there for him to support in the lower level. So this is how it is going to happen. We have to practically look into it. But I'm just highlighting the challenges which has been there. 6th of May 2024, the president of the tribunal has been appointed. Retired Justice Mishra has been appointed as the member. So a lot of confusions were happening is that formation of tribunal, you need to file the pending appeals within 3 months was the provision. Because Mishra was appointed, whether the tribunal is already formed, your due date is going to come up. All those questions was there. Now they had given a clarification. They have also amended the rule. You don't worry, I'm removing all this formation of tribunal and all those things. I'm going to give you a notification. From that notified date, within 3 months, you have to file your appeal. That is what. But that notification, whether that notification will be given for entire India at once or each state they can give a different notification is not very clearly coming out. So what I gather from the information is that there are a lot of states who are still to have the infrastructure in place itself. So they may take 1 more year to function. But government is not no mood to wait for the all the state bench to be operational. So there could be a bench-wise notification being issued. That is, they will say that all the cases of AP, the notified date is 1st of December 2026 and 3 months counts from that. So this is not applicable to Karnataka unless until it is specifically notified for Karnataka. So this is what I think is broadly they'll look at. We need to wait and watch. These are all speculations which is there which we are looking at. So that is about the tribunal which I have talked about how the functionality of the tribunal is there. So this is about the time limit which I was talking about 3 months and it can be further condonable to the extent of 3 months. So this is a major deviation from the existing tribunal under Sestat which was been there. Under Sestat, the condonation period could have been what you call condoned without any limitation. Tribunal had a power to condone without any limitation. So I had appeared for one of the cases in Tribunal Hyderabad where the delay was 1050 days and it was also condoned not because of my super arguing powers and all. That was local authority. The judge knew how local authority will work and he gave a benefit of doubt and gave. But what I am saying is 1050 days was condoned. That is what we are talking about three and a half years. 3 years is what was been condoned, which is a very large period. If you look at from a litigation, law of limitation says 3 years, right? Beyond that also it was been condoned and it was been given. But all those things is fixed under GST. Nothing doing. I'll give you a power to condone only within a period of 3 months. Now, beyond 3 months, you may not have the tribunal doesn't have a power to condone itself, so they don't have an option but to throw out. But the High Court, in the writ jurisdiction, in the interest of justice, may entertain this particular thing. Either they can condone and give the direction for the tribunal to hear the matter, or they themselves can hear the matter. There are both the decisions which has been there, both the scenarios which has been there. But one has to be very clear. This condonation is something which you have to be very clear about. Why I'm spending more time is this condonation principle is also applicable for your commissioner appeals also, joint commissioner appeals also. The same principle applies. There you have only 1 month of condonable period. Here you have 3 months of condonable period. Off late, we are getting lot of calls that you are getting to know that an order has been passed only when your banker is telling that your account has got freezed or your amount has been debited. Then you are running to him, but what happened? Why have you taken this money? When I give check, you will not pay at all. Saying signature match. But department write one letter, you gave everything. Right? Our bankers are also funny. They will not even tell. We have to check the statement. That too, we will check after 10 days or 15 days. My accountant will check, and then we'll get to know the amount has already gone from my account. Then you will investigate. Then you will get to know there was one order reference he is doing. Then you log into the portal and see that order was passed and you never noticed it. So these are the challenge which has been there. So there also, whether you can go to the commissioner of appeals, there are few people who are saying, no, no, I'll go to the commissioner of appeals, let him reject because it's time barred, then I'll go to the tribunal or I'll go to the high court. I feel that that may not be the right approach, because if you are going there, I don't feel that the commissioner, joint commissioner of appeals have done any error in rejecting your appeal because it is time barred. Because it's time barred clear, it is not disputed. Unless until you are taking a ground saying that you need to take today as the date of receipt, and from today you need to take it as a 3 months for filing the appeal which I have done within the limitation, that is a different set of argument. The moment you know that you are not contesting the date of receipt, you are accepting the other date of receipt, asking him to condone, he cannot condone beyond 1 month. So going against that order to tribunal or anything, whether it's going to help or not, I'm not very sure. So going to the high court may be a better option for all those cases where the condonable period is completed. Then date of communication of order is very important. So the GST law itself gives a provision as to how an order has to be served. So earlier under the central excise, there was a chronology of how an order has to be served. So they told you have to do it by registered post. If not possible, you have to give it by hand. If not possible, you have to do it by sending a messenger, like that, one after the other. Not possible, not possible was there. In GST, has given list of everything. He says whatever mode is there, you can do it. So there is also an high court decision. They told that even though it has been given any mode, you need to follow one after the other only. So you could not have opted to directly upload it. You should have attempted the other methods. Also, it's not a valid service. It's been there. So it's a diverse view which has been there. You could be taking it. And also there is a decision of the High Court which says that uh, uh, valid communication, validity is there, valid service and effective service. Giving an effective personal what you call opportunity of being word, and a valid is totally different. It may not be effective here. So that is what one of the courts has been told. So this is also something which you could look at for all those cases for not making that patient dead, keeping him alive in the ICU. These are the grounds which you can take and see that if you can get that uh, case back to the limelight. Mode of filing of the appeal will be online, similar to our common portal. We all have now got used to it. There is going to be a GST portal also, separate portal is going to be there. So we need to register in that portal, and all the appeals has to be mandatorily uploaded online. The register may give a notification or an order in case of difficulty accepting for filing of the manual appeal. Either a general order may be passed or a specific order may be passed. One is in general, if you are not able to do, you come and give manual, or they may hear my matter in specific and allow me to do only for me they may allow to make a manual application. So again, we need to be well equipped with the technology, and all those compressing the files and things like that is something which we need to be get used to it. And if no, there is going to be one council registration which has been there. Through that, it can be done. Yeah, yeah. Chartered accountant can, as per the tribunal rules, chartered accountant, tax practitioners who write that exam, and the advocates will be eligible for appearing in before the bench. So they have to do it through their login. You can upload a number of appeals. So that is what I've been understood, but still we have to wait for that. In between, there was also some hyperlink of this thing was circulating, asking them to register. All those register is what this only, not the filing of the appeal. If you are not a chartered accountant, that is like I am retired from the department, or I am a tax consultant. So something like that, for them that examination is required. Yes, yes. CS can directly register. CS, CWS, advocates and all, they can directly register. And if you are making a manual appeal, then you have to give the certified copy also to be given along with that. Then you have pre-deposit. Again, pre-deposit is been mandatory. There are many cases which has been held that statutory appeal comes with the statutory conditions. So one of the conditions is a pre-deposit, which you need to follow. In an exceptional cases, in a writ jurisdiction, they may listen the matter without insisting for a pre-deposit. Say, for example, where you will be able to establish, like what I told just now, 0.27 point has been missed. So thereby they are asking 100 crores of amount, and I have to make a pre-deposit. 10 plus 10 is 20 crores. So that is a huge money, which is not even their turnover for the year or whatever which has been there. And that sort of a money, if you put, then they have to shut the business. So if you can prove this as a thing, the writ jurisdiction can entertain, but not tribunal. Tribunal cannot do anything except for saying that I can understand your pain, but I am helpless. I cannot do anything. So that is what it's there. So there you can look at High Court as a place for you to look into it. And this is the appeal things as to how the appeals have to be filed. uh, Whether it has to be filed when there is a single show cause notice which has been given, single order which is given from for a multiple show cause notice. So it will be one order which has been passed, then one is there, multiple orders, one appeal. So then multiple appeals has to be filed. So this is the table which gives as to how the appeal may have to be filed. Then there are various applications which has been there in, as far as the tribunal is concerned. One is the appeal to the tribunal, which has been there with any appeal. Aggrieved party, aggrieved by the order, the appeal can be filed either by the taxpayer or by the department. So this is something which has been there. Second is very important is a reply to appeal. So what is a reply to appeal is that I have not been agreed by the order. I was happy with the joint commissioner order. He dropped the demand. Now department has gone for an appeal, which it is having a right to do. Then what I have to do is I have to file a reply to that appeal, saying that the appeal has been preferred on so and so grounds. Because of this ABCD reason, the grounds of the appeal will not be correct. So that is called as a reply to appeal. Then the next one is called as a cross objection. So anybody can tell me what is the difference between reply to appeal and cross objection? Both people are aggrieved. Yeah. So both people are aggrieved. That is what is important. So what is this scenario? There were four issues, four paras in the show cause notice. Three para came in your favor. You are actually fighting for all the four paras. Three paras came in your favor. Majority of the demand out of say 10 crores of demand, 9.5, 9.9 crores were dropped. So client told, sir, for that 10 lakhs, where we'll go and fight, sir? Sir, 10 lakhs is a good amount of money, na sir. Why you will leave? Sir, okay, sir, మీ ఫీజు మీరు 5 లక్షలు తీసుకుంటారు వదిలేండి సార్. And he left it. So we did not go for the appeal. Although I was aggrieved by that part, I prefer not to go for an appeal, rest the dispute. But department will did not leave. Department went to appeal. So this we were telling in central excise earlier. Now to large extent it has been arrested because of the monetary limits. Earlier we were telling when I started my articles and all. This is what the all the speakers and all were telling. There are only two exits in central excise. One is inspector. He will leave you without making a case. Or if he makes a case, the exit is only in Supreme Court. Because you win, department will go to appeal. If you lose anyway, you will go for appeal. This is the only two exits which is there. Be prepared. So at least now that that litigation policy have come, they have given some monetary limit where department should not unnecessarily litigate it. Otherwise, earlier department did not have any cost at all. No filing fees also for them. Already empaneled advocate is there on record. So commissioner if they put everything now, what is what going to happen? Load him up with the work. So everything is to come back under the appeal. So now department has gone for the appeal on these three paras. One para they have not gone. Now The client comes to us saying that, sir, this three para, they have gone to appeal. We have to file reply to appeal. So anyway, that 5 lakh rupees, which I thought you will take, you take and you do it. I don't have an option. I have to engage you. So at that point of time, we can also say the law provides an opportunity for me to file an appeal on the fourth point, which I earlier had given up my right of appeal. So within 45 days from the receipt of the appeal copy, you can file the cross objection for the fourth one also without any pre-deposit. On the fourth one also, you will be able to go for that particular appeal. So that is called as a cross objection. Then there are other miscellaneous application, which is called as an interlocutory application, IAS, for condonation of the delay within the period, for your early hearing application, restoration application, rectification of errors. So all those things is something which you could look at. So early hearing, the hearing is posted somewhere after 1 year or 2 year or no, not posted at all. So you can make an application and you need to prove what is the urgency, what is the hurry. And based on that, if the bench is satisfied, they will prepone the case. Otherwise, they'll say it will come by in the due course whenever it has to come. This can be done by appellate and the respondent. Either of them can be looking at. Restoration application. Sometimes it will be dismissed because of non-compliance. So there is also a provision in the tribunal rules which says when the case is been called for and you don't show, they can dismiss the appeal. So show up, they can dismiss the appeal. That is not they will, they can. Powers is there. Mostly in judicially interest, they may not do. But by chance it got dismissed and you got stuck in traffic or you were ill or some communication problem was there. So you can also say make an application and restore the appeal which has got dismissed. One such example I'm telling you. So for anything for non-compliance it has been dismissed, you can comply it and restore it. Rectification of errors. Any apparent error which has been there, which is maybe an arithmetical error or a basic ground which is been submitted, but they are saying it has not been submitted. So those sort of a things is something which the tribunal can correct the orders, rectify the orders. Then these are all the forms and the filing fees which has been there. So I'm not getting into much of those, which is available in the PPT. You can go through this. This is a comparative between GST and SESTAT. So now coming to the drafting, I think Anil is there, who's the next speaker, is going to talk about pleading skills and things like that. So my topic also had about the drafting. So what is that you have to look at when you are drafting the appeal? So few tips I'll going to give it and not more than that. One is that it is very important that Rule 31 of the Gestat rules tells that you will not be allowed to argue a point which is not part of your appeal grounds of appeal. So you cannot all of a sudden come and argue with the new point. Surprise! I'm going to tell this. You cannot do. Everything, whatever you are arguing, should be there in the grounds of appeal. That means you are giving an opportunity for the other party to prepare for it. All of a sudden you come and say, how is the other party be prepared? It is not fair on you.
Grounds,
Yeah, additional grounds can be filed.
sometimes.
Additional grounds can be filed, but I cannot argue a new point. So it is very important that your grounds, whatever has been there, you should take all possible grounds. I have seen few people, of course, Sir and all has been going for IT, but a few people who are not been experienced in tribunal and all, they'll say, sir, why should I show all my cards? I'll reserve few cards. I'll play when required at the last moment. So this thing will not work. You have to show all your cards and be prepared for any negative on your cards. So that is something which you have to look at. You have to have an elaborated thing. So he is again asking me a question. Okay, Sudhir, initially you had not taken this argument, but High Court came and gave a new dimension and new argument, which will also going to help. You can develop your case also. You can develop an argument based on this. So what will happen to in that case? Then you are allowed to make an IA. There is an additional grounds can be given. Again, that IA will be listed and it will be whether it has to be allowed or not, it will be the discretionary of the bench. You have to show sufficient cause that if you are not allowing this, it is going to be a gross injustice to the appellant, then only they are going to allow. In general, what we have seen in general, the at least the present tribunal functioning and all, these sort of the things they will ask the other side. Do you have any objection for this? Do you have a copy of it? Do you have an objection? Generally, they don't object and it gets appealed. It gets allowed. But why I am telling you, I am preparing you is that I don't even know how the tribunal is going to be there. Like, sir is asking like, okay, what is the practice? How the bench is happening, whether favorable, not favorable. I don't even know what is the practice. Whether they are going to function like a VAT bench, they are going to function like a sestat bench. I don't even know. Rules are framed, but the practices, the way they approach, that is not there. Rules are clear. Rules are the mix of sestat and VAT procedure. Rules are clear. But there are a lot of things which happens in the court na, in terms of allowing the application or allowing the passover, so how justification, justice they are looking at. Those things we have to wait and watch. So very important that we all as a professional have to look at that. We cannot take a risk of additional submission. Take all the grounds. So that is the reason the grounds is very important. Don't give it in installment. Give everything together. Mm. And very important, you sometimes you feel that there will be 4 or 5 points. You think that point number 1 or 2 is very, very crucial and very innovative and lot of weight in that. To your surprise, judge may feel that what is there in this, what is it he is arguing, there is no point at all. But you thought third point is like, chumma, we'll just try, fluke. That may work. So sometimes you don't know what is going to work. So very important is you should not become a judge. So one of the advocate was telling that he had the few couple of advocates were discussing on a particular case before the senior counsel. They started into argument, saying this is not correct, that is not correct. We need to argue this. This is what is argument. There was a very senior counsel told, "Congratulations on becoming justice." They said, "What? You are counsel. You cannot become justice. You are only have to give your inputs what you think is the best interpretation of the law. That is your job. Do that. You don't become a judge saying that this is correct or not correct. So you don't judge what is going to work. Leave it to the judge to judge. You give all your points. And there is no right way or wrong way of maybe a presentation or putting the points, whether I need to do a technical points first, merit points first, limitation points first. So what after what, there is no right or wrong. It is only about the practice and your maturity of looking at how we need to present the case. Then tribunal is the last fact finding authority. So all fact related points has to be looked at. However, it is also important to understand that any new ground, which is a factual ground, any new factual grounds may not be entertained by the tribunal. It will go back to the original authority, but still this is the last place for you to get all the factual grounds which is going to be there. Don't presume that the law is known to the judge. So one of the briefs which was being prepared, I was looking at, we had a in our office we had a mock tribunal for all our youngsters who are not going to tribunal, for making them ready for GST tribunal. So one of the brief that written that since this is not for business, tax is not applicable. So
Court judge may not be knowing the all law.
he may not be, he cannot know also, sir. It is not possible. He know how to interpret the law, how the principle. That is what the judges know. They don't know all the law. So they told this is not a business, sir. So there will be no tax, sir. Then what is the relevance, sir? If it is not business, not tax, where is it is coming from? It is coming from your supply and levy section, na, where it has gone in the course or furtherance of the business. So you have to explain. The section requires so and so, and because this section 9 fails in terms of business not being there, thereby the levy is not being attracted. You need to explain that. You cannot say, okay, not business, not take the credit, or otherwise it is in relation to business, ITC should be allowed. So how can you say, where are you saying it should be in relation to business? Which provision you are talking about? These are the things which you need to clearly bring out. So some members have habit of reading the files. So you need to do a proper finding so that it is going to help your own case because they have read the file. Department is not entitled to make any new case at the appellate level. So this is also very important, and it will be good that all these orders I told na, that they told all your points is not tenable and thereby it has been dropped.
Paper book with sufficient evidence.
Yes, I'll come to it. It's there.
Duly numbered.
Yeah, it's there in my thing. I'll come to it. So the department cannot argue beyond what is there in order in original and the order in appeal. So it is actually making the hands tight for the department counsel. So which is anyway in a way good for us because we would have given a lot of inference on that. Drafting is not only a art but also a degrees of science. So you need to remember a lot of things to put in a systematic manner. And also first impression is the best impression. Keep that in mind. So there are certain tips which may to be looked at. So one is that importance of clarity. Do not make it vague. So write the points with crisp and clear. Don't make it vague, and be straight to the point. Don't hit around the bush. You need not be harsh, but you can tell your point straight. You need not put it around the harsh. You need not be using harsh words or you are an idiot. The Joint Commissioner Appeals was an idiot. He did not understand this. You need not tell that. You can still say that this basic point has not been understood. It has not been appreciated. You write that it has not been appreciated. Not a problem. So don't use that words, but you write all those things, which is very important because these are the points which you need to bring out very clearly. Don't repeat the points. Only because you have written the same point again and again 4 times and made 100 pages of appeal, there is no extra chance for you to win. Rather, it can irritate the judge and say, throw this file away. So, very important. You have told once now. Okay, sir, this is in relation to my business. This is used in my output manufacturing unit, manufacturing process. Thereby, credit is eligible. You told na, finish. Don't keep on telling that in other words, other words, other words. In other words, in other words. Don't tell. You are told in one word. Finish. So that is how you need to keep it so that it is going to be there. Like sir was telling, supporting for every submission is very important. So don't just tell a statement saying that I was being audited in the financial year 1920. Now giving a show cause notice, alleging that I am fraud is not correct. Ground is good. Why fraud should not be alleged? You have explained it is good. But did you give the evidence that you have been subjected to audit in 1819? That department let it find, sir. Tribunals, it's not the thing to find out and tell. They'll not do sit and do an investigation. You have to give it readily, saying that please see ADT 01 being issued or ADT 02.
Inviting their attention to this.
And you need to invite the attention by giving into a annexure number so and so duly numbered with the page. You need to give it. So that is your responsibility. Now, whether you have put the right document, wrong document, whether it is correct or wrong is all department can verify. Department counsel can always come and counter saying that no, sir. It is fact that the audit was done, but not in this GSTN. Audit was done in Tamil Nadu GSTN, but the audit is issued for Andhra Pradesh GSTN. So all those differentiation is something they can make it, but you have to give with all your evidence and appropriate thing. Use appropriate legal terminology. So don't make it complicated. At the same time, don't feel that it is a story writing or a general letter which you are doing. It should be more legal, precise, and authoritative. You can use the appropriate legal maxim which is required to that particular context. Very important. Don't use your own short form. Okay, so for somebody AC is air condition, for somebody AC is account, right? We don't know what is what unless until a standard prescribed abbreviations which has been used. Otherwise, use it for once and say for brevity from here onwards, we are going to call this as so and so. So using GST Act, CGST Act is permissible because CGST Central goods and service tax has been used by almost everybody, right? Using my own terminology should be avoided.
But if we use it, you should use acronym somewhere.
Yeah. So, yeah, somewhere it has to be listed, but still what I suggest is you don't do that. Don't give an homework to the member. You say, okay, what is this? Oh, okay, 1 minute. Go to page number 35 where that acronym is list. I'll understand. Come back, read. One more new thing came. Again, I have to go there. Come back. Don't give homework. You write there only now. What is going to happen? Nothing is going to happen. So you write there only. Make the efforts of the judge as less as possible. Even I say that you give the extract of the relevant portion of the act also. If you are referring, okay, section 16(2)(c), you are making a reference. 16(2)(c), you give in quotes there only in italics, ready reference. Don't ask him to open the book and see 16(2)(c). He may see or may not see. It is in your interest if he reads in that context, it is going to help your case. Read it there. At the same time, only 16(2)(c) you have to draw the attention. Don't put all the entire section 16. 3 pages, which is of no use. Only 16(2)(c), 2 lines you want to do, put only the 16(2)(c). No, sir, 16(2)(c) itself is 1 page. What will do? Are you referring to entire 1 page or you want to take him to one particular line? I want to take one particular line. 3 dots to start with. Put that line. At the end, you put another 3 dots. That is, that was there was something else before. There is something else after. But I am drawing your attention only to this. If the member wants, he always has section 16 section bare act. He will open and read it by himself. So make it into that. Detailed study of the order, read and analyze. So the combination of CA and advocate is something which is very important in the tax litigation which has been there, because lot of things is to do with the numbers. So that is where we will be able to do a very good job. Understand the complete facts and its collation. So facts should be there in my tips. It is very important to understand not only the facts as is required to the case, much more beyond also, right? In recently in one of the case there was a rectification order. Issue was very simple. GSTR 1 turnover not matching with GSTR 7 turnover. The TDS turnover, client deducted TDS on payment basis. I have paid GST on invoice basis. It's not matching. Simple. We had given a reconciliation. Without considering reconciliation, order was passed, and my partner wanted me to go for a rectification because he thought, okay, if Sudhir sir is going, seeing his face, there is going to be a good chance, and he wanted me to go. So he told me at the last moment. Then I told, Are you are telling me at the last moment, I am not prepared for it. He told, No, sir, this is the simple thing. I also got confidence. Inte kada? Okay, I went. So Joint Commissioner greeted, Oh, Sudhir, how are you? Nowadays you are not coming to department, all those things. Okay, good and all. So what is the issue? I told, okay, what is this business? What are they into business, Sudhir? He asked. I don't know. So they are into construction contract. Okay, what contract they are doing? I don't know. So it was a very embarrassment for me. All that was not at all relevant. It's zero relevance for that issue which has been there. But still, in the context to understand why he asked this, he wanted to understand whether it is a short-term contract, long-term contract, what sort of a thing which is happening, who is the client, and why the delay can happen with the client. He wanted to understand something which is there. So it is very important to understand, not only read the facts with the file, also understand the client, what business they are into, what was actually happened, have that interview or the personal interaction with the client before attending. So very important, I also say that whatever you are doing, capture somewhere, because you want to depute this to somebody else tomorrow. He should read that 1 pager, 2 pager short note, and he should be able to get an understanding, which is very important. So that is the requirement which is there for you. Um, and you have to do the arguments first. What all arguments you need to take? What should be the flow of arguments? You make all these rough notes and then start drafting. So many cases, what we do is we straight away go for drafting of the cases. Somewhere we get lost because of lot of research, analysis, paralysis. So that is what is going to happen. So you have to make very clear, this is what I'm going to spend 2 days, do all your research. This is what the ground. Then you start drafting. It becomes more effective. And involving client is very good. But again, sometimes client will deviate you.
Even
So
though
we will tell client, sir, ఇది అవసరం లేదు sir, not there. No, 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 this is very important. How you cannot say? You have to write it, and sometimes it may go against also. So somewhere we need to take a calculated call.
we say you did not at other side, one that something like that.
That is there. You need to do it, whether you should do it first or it should be in the last. That is something is there. I agree with you. If a client want, we'll always include, but we will tell,
Better.
boss, I am including it with your this thing.
Is always better.
Yeah. So one of the recent thing with the client involvement is that there was a case of central excise which is coming up in the hearing. The 2013 matters are coming up now. So I was discussing. The allegation is the goods has not come to my factory. It has directly gone to the client place. So client place is central excise dealer. Steel was purchased. It has not come to my factory, but it has directly gone to my customer, not the client, to the customer. It has directly gone. So central excise had a condition that you can take the SENVAT credit only when it has been received in your factory. Then only you can take the credit. The case is made out that I have not received in the factory. Then I told sir, I want to make it very, very simple. I don't want him to get into a fact whether it is received, what is the proof, what not the proof, whether it is sufficient proof and all. I want to ask one simple question, what they want me to do. I wanted to pay tax. If I have not received, then the payment of tax which I have done on reversal also was not required. Na? That itself is a reversal of tax. What I have paid on output itself is a reversal of tax. So there is nothing left. I wanted to argue on this. Client says no, not doing. I have all this proof. I have e-way bills. I have so and so. I have register. You want to? I want to argue this. So somewhere we have to look at, okay, if you are failing this, this anyway is there. But I fail on this, that may or may not work. You need to structure the argument, even also taking into the client into consideration.
Today there are so many full letter contracts
Hmm.
where you have to be very careful.
Yes, yes, very important. Then countering for invocation and extended period of invocation of extended period of limitation, interest and penalty. So this is also something always client is having fear. This happens even now. Earlier it was happening at a very higher pace. Even now, one out of 10 or 1 out of 20, they will call, Sudhir, are we not strong on our case is weak? Why are we talking about penalties and all when we are very strong on winning the case itself? Why are we saying penalty should not come? So there is nothing wrong. Only because you are writing penalty should not come, that doesn't mean that I'm accepting the liability. So each point is without prejudice to the other, without admitting the other liability. Assuming but not admitting tax is payable, then extended period cannot be invoked. Assuming but not admitting extended period also, if it can be invoked, interest is not leviable. Assuming but not admitting interest, if it is leviable, penalty is not leviable. So like that, you need to take an alternative ground for everything. Only because you are taking an alternative ground, that doesn't mean that your main ground is getting surprised or it is becoming weak. It is not at all. Every point becomes have his own weightage, and you need to take all the points together. Then there is a prayer and verification, which is should be the part of it because very clear. Sometimes I have seen judges is asking, okay, boss, what you want, you tell me. That only you are not writing. You have come to me, wasted so much so time. What you want? So not only telling setting aside the demand, you also have to specifically tell, please hold that my product is at 5%, right? Please hold that you should not attach my property. Please hold that the refund should be given of the pre-deposit which has been made. These are all the things I want. Not only set aside the order, all what you want has to be specifically written. And one common point what we write is any consequential relief should follow. So generally they also put it as a part of the order. This is what order along with the consequential relief. That will help you for refund and things like that, which is going to be there. Authorization and for reply and appearance should be part of the paper book. Wakalat. Yeah. And very important is copy of all the previous documents should also be given. Say for example, your case is made on based on classification. Say for example, maybe a technical write-up, PO, invoice, everything which is a factual related, you need to bring it. Sir, all these things I already showed it now, sir, when they came for audit. This member did not come there na, for audit. What this member no? That was there by that particular officer. Now we have to win the case before him. So you have to do. Yes. So you need to bring all these things, facts to that as a part of the paper book. Sometimes it may become bulky, but it is helpless that you need to give all these facts which is required. Some cases I have seen that, especially the construction contract, the contract is 200 pages, but you are referring to only one scope of work which is 1.5 page. So two thought process. One is why put all 100 pages and make him feel that it is very bulky. You will not even read, not even open, or even if open, he will read something else which is not required, right? The other thought process, that's the reason I'll put only 1.5 page. The moment you put 1.5 page, the members are doubting. Why are you not showing me full contract? Because he doesn't know it's 100 pages. He may be thinking, okay, it's 20 pages. He could have given all 20 pages. Now, why he has given only 1.5 page? Is he hiding something to me? Where is the other pages? So this is a fix. So what you have to look at? You need to look at what is an alternative. Say for example, letter of award is there. LOA is there. LOA itself is capturing the scope which can be sufficient for you to prove your exemption or classification or as the case may be. Then unnecessary don't get into contract if it is bulkier. Otherwise, as a matter of this thing, you need to give all 100 pages, even though that is going to affect you because the judge will always have a question mark. Why is he hiding something? Is there anything which has been hidden? The moment you give 100 pages, he may not go through entire 100 pages. He will only take him to page number 63, which is relevant, show it and close it. That is what can be looked at. Yes, in that. These are all the portions of OIA. OIA will be telling what is the facts, what is the grounds which was taken, what is the allegations, what is the findings on the grounds which has been taken on interest penalties and all those things. So this is what is going to be there. So next is presentation of the facts. So facts presentation is very important. So a proper presentation of facts will help you to win the case. 50%, that is what I feel. So you have to write very critically. One of the common error what you look at is facts is written as what is written in show cause notice. In show cause notice, they want to make a case against you. They'll call you, this fellow is a thief. I got to know that he is stealing money and thereby I went to his premises. This and all, he wants to make an impression on me before he tells what he has done. Why should I extract that in my facts? I should tell I am Sri Ram Chandra. I am doing business from past 30 years. I have given employment for 500 people till now. So and so year I was being given the best taxpayer award, enclosed here with the certificate of the taxpayer. And from the inception of GST till now I have paid 150 crores. The demand what you are asking is only 10 lakhs. I am not telling all these things. I am only bringing that facts to the notice that array somebody who has paid 150 crores, why he will do cheating for 10 lakhs here? Why he will do fraudulent activity for 10 lakhs? Some impression is met. Still, I have to prove. I have to prove my innocence. These facts will not make them sufficient. But I'm just making one impression about what I am, what is my conduct. So I have not been subjected to income tax rate till now. So whatever is there, these are all the facts which you need to write it. Again, crisp and relevant to the point. Don't make it very elaborate. Okay, hold it to the facts and provide evidence for all the facts which I have told. Pictorial representation, charts or something which you can look at and should be accurate. Don't tell lie at all. Very important. You tell the facts and see how you can come out of the facts, but you cannot do any lie. So it is very important. The credibility of your credibility before the bench is also very important. It is not only for client. You also have to look at your professional diligence. Like Sarwal told, very important that when you are picking up the case, you do your diligence. So many cases, especially this happened in one of the cases in High Court. There was an allegation that he has only received the invoice, not received the goods. Fake invoice has been purchased. And he came and pleaded with one of our friend advocate, saying that I am all very good. So I have not taken any such thing. 100% under oath, I am telling that the goods has been received. So advocate felt, okay, what he is saying is correct. He went for argument there. There, the department is coming with a WhatsApp chat of telling that you send me the invoice, this is the commission. All those things is what department is having into the custody.
Sometimes
Now, what is the face of me in front of the judge? For client, this is the only case. For me, this is one among 100 cases. Daily I have to go.
ask you to sign,
Yes.
because we are not going to trust your client, we want to trust
Trust
you
you.
only.
Yeah.
If you are
So,
willing, sign it.
yeah. So in those cases, it's very important that you need to make a thorough due diligence when you are picking the client, or even when you have picked the client, you nothing wrong in representing as represented by client. This is what is there, which I am telling. So when you tell these sort of things, judge will also get to know. He will ask Anil, are you sure about it? Then Anil will say, sir, this is what I have got a instruction. I have not verified myself. Now it is up to the judge whether he need to believe, not to believe. I should not take ownership for the client and say, sir, yes, sir, I am believing it's right. Never do that.
Sometimes
Because you don't even know what is the fact.
you have to do it, thoroughly examine it.
That there also I should not do. Why should I tell you? Yes, there is a difference between the advocacy and chartered accountancy.
There is a difference
Right.
between advocate and attorney.
Yes,
If you are an attorney, it should be different.
correct. So bring out the facts which is not been discussed in OIO also. Sometimes they suppress facts. That some statements also they'll suppress. Statement which is favorable to taxpayer, they record the statement. They will not. It will be part of the relied upon document that will not be discussed in the order because that go against. Because they have done in a proper procedure, they cannot hide it. They have to put it in the relied upon document or whatever it is. So all those facts also you need to clearly bring out, which is you did not stick to that. You can give a facts which is relevant. Yes, sir.
Always, we should not hide the facts concerned to the client. We can hide the law that is unfavorable to the client, but we are not supposed to hide any of the facts related to the client.
Slightly, I want to agree and disagree with you. I want to agree and disagree with you. As a person who am appearing before tribunal, I become an officer of a tribunal. I am here to give all the facts, all the law point, and assist the judge to take a proper decision. So it will be professionally unfair if even if I'm avoiding a law position, neither the fact. So all the facts has to be told, all the law position has to be told. Your interpretation of that law, which is going to benefit, is something which you have to tell and leave it. So that is my views, sir. You have good experience, but this is what my
Where they say that you can withhold the law judgment that were unfair to the client,
yeah.
but not the facts.
Yeah, yes, this I agree. I need not go and disclose myself. There is a negative ruling on it.
Again, it depends upon, because you can both
Yes.
say fair and unfair. I want to
Yes.
that what is
Yeah. But generally, sir, building credentials is very important. So sometimes what happens, it's a long journey of building your face. So we always say that we want a good face. Who is a good face before this officer? Right? That gets developed because of your integrity which has been there. Somewhere this member will come to know. Na? Supreme Court would have told you are not done wrong. But member will come to know, Sudhir, you knew that there was a decision which was against. You kept quiet and you took an order in favor of me. Now this has been reviewed. This is a backmark for me. Then unnecessarily there's a grudge on the officer. So it may be a better thing for me to tell, sir, there is also an alternative decision, but there is a single member. But what I'm relaying is a two-member decision. So this will supersede. This is a jurisdictional high court. That is non-jurisdictional high court. That fact is different. This fact is different. He may help us.
We can do it,
Yeah.
differentiate it. But it's better to read both of them and.
Yes, right, sir. So, and you need to put the facts in a chronological order, use tables and all wherever is required. counter all the arguments in the OA. OA would have done certain allegations. You have to counter everything. Further, you have to put your case also. Very important. Submit CA certificate, consulting engineering certificate, wherever it is helpful for you. Reconciliation, attestation, and all is something which you could look at. And you take all the favorable decisions in your favor, like sir was telling. Then constitutional validity grounds also you can take, technical grounds you can take, limitation grounds you can take, circulars which is in favorable to you, which is binding on the department can be taken. You can also use the minutes of the council to look at the intention of the law. That is something which you could use.
Attorneys, advocates are advocates. All attorneys are advocates. All advocates are not attorneys.
Attorneys, right.
But we are basically attorneys.
Yeah,
So attorneys should also ensure that the facts are properly examined.
exactly,
There is
sir.
no necessity for advocate to examine the facts.
Correct, sir. The framing of technical grounds, you can look at, already talked about jurisdictional validity of the order, etc., etc. So, mostly I have covered most of this, the point. So, balance my PPT is available, which is self-explanatory. All this, how the paging, numbering and all should be there. So, people who are going and very interested in filing the appeals, they can go through this. That was going to be there. So with this, I think I'll complete my talk so that we'll have some time for question answer.
So during the personal hearing, can I add additional notes or additional law points and case class?
So what he's saying is there is a original appeal paper I've submitted. During the PH can I take new law points and argue? Answer for that is no. It should be part of your appeal paper book. If you want to take a new grounds of argument, that should be by way of an additional submission, which will be listed, allowed, and thereafter you will be allowed to argue.
Sometimes insurance application you have to file.
Department, the water we have filed the application, the department counter will both hearing on the same day, sir, but the personal hearing by the tribunal.
Yeah, what happens is that once your appeal has been filed, the appeal paper book one copy of the appeal paper book is being sent to the jurisdictional officer. Now everything is email. The moment you upload, an email will go to them that saying these are the things. So they have to file a reply to the appeal. So I don't think so. The law is prescribing any period for filing the reply to the appeal. But on the day of personal hearing is coming and giving a reply to appeal, you can always say that I have not gone through this. I need some time, and you can always plead for the time.
And we relate to the our
Say if it's department appeal and you need to file the reply. I don't think so. There is any period prescribed. Anil, is there any period for reply to appeal? There is no deadline. 60 days. Huh?
Normally 120 days. So that is your confusion.
That is this thing, what you call
General civil rules of practice, the 120 days.
counter. No, what is that?
45 days.
Counters 40. Cross objection, 45 days. Reply to appeal also 45 days.
in advance they have to give.
Yeah, I need to look at maybe it's 45 days what Anil is saying, but you can always do that.
Counter affidavit.
We can file a cross objection.
Cross objection is only when you have agreed with order. That is, I told na 4 points, 1 point you never went for appeal. Only in that case cross objection. Otherwise reply to appeal. Like counter arguments is what he is saying. Counter affidavit in the ITIT procedure. Any other questions, sir? This leaves me in a danger position. Either everything is clear or nothing is clear. Okay, so I know it's a post-lunch session, so I hope if I have not given you value, at least I have not disturbed your sleep.
The basic structure.
10% now for tribunal appeal.
10% is a pre-deposit.
Only 10. Paid
10 plus 10, 20. In total 20. Additional 10%. And if it is only appeal, you have to pay 10% on the appeal. Admitted tax 100% you have to. So thank you all for patience listening. I thank Vijayada branch of ICI for giving me an opportunity to be here and share my thoughts. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. I think this is for the first time we are hearing on tribunal completely, because till now we have sessions on several issues, ASMT 10 or like audit or investigation, whatever it may be. But tribunal, I believe this is the first time we are hearing in detail. Thank you. Thank you very much for your input, sir. Definitely, we also keep your word on.
But emphasize on advocate. Sorry.
Yes, sir. Sure. I will do that. I'll add it to my program. Thank you.
Sure, yeah, that 5-6 days course, once it will be hosted, I will try to chip in that for in Vijayawada branch. And also the, if that is not been rolled, as you said, if we have any interested people around like 10-15, we'll be meeting you for a special session for 10-15 guys.
We can actually make it to a module.
Sure, sir. Thank you once again, sir. I request Chairman of the branch, Narayana, to please come forward to present a memento to Sudhir Garu. Yeah, let's all break for tea. I know we had a good session now. Please be back within 5-10 minutes because the speaker is here. We'll start the session in 10 minutes. Please be back.